A lot of people want to know, what is the Shark Lab? And you know what? It's changed over time. What the Shark Lab is to me is it's this research lab that has morphed into something bigger.
So we are researching the movement patterns and behaviors of the juvenile white sharks in Southern California.
We're a group of students and professors that have a passion for science and conservation and really wanting to get these two principles to mesh and get all of this information out to the public.
It's been around since the 60s, and since then they have been the pioneers of pivotal technology in studying a lot of fish and sharks specifically.
In terms of research in general for the lab, I see it as kind of one of the four most respected labs in the world for white shark research.
The more we know about them, the more our broader understanding of these very, very interesting creatures is.
It's like a hub where different groups of people can come together and collaborate.
So the Shark Lab is important because it's kind of stationed in a really amazing area. So Southern California in general is a pretty unique area for biodiversity, and also this warm water current that we get up from Mexico, where it's a geographic barrier from Point Conception down, which is kind of just north of Santa Barbara. And the Shark Lab is kind of stationed right in the middle there. So not only do we get to study things that are in our own backyard, but we also get to experience all of these different kind of ecosystems along Southern California.
We look at shark distribution, right? And so if we figure out where these animals are going, we can help provide not only safety information, but we're also taking in environmental data. So we can show how sharks are reacting to climate change.
So we have to use those pieces of evidence to figure out what they're trying to do and why they're doing it. So by understanding what influences their behavior, we can keep people safer when they're at the beach. We need to understand how they make decisions. And that's hard to do for an animal who lives in the murk, who hides in the shadows, who makes its living not being seen. So there are all sorts of interesting ways that we can better communicate what we're learning about sharks to the public. And I think that's probably one of the most important things that we do, because if we do science just for the sake of science, then only the scientists get to appreciate or benefit from it. That's not who we do science for. We're doing science for everybody.
The Shark Lab is an ecosystem that has touched the lives of so many, protecting a species older than the dinosaurs. Their new mission? Educate the public on the importance of the marine environment to keep beach users safe and shark populations growing. They are working to ensure the symbiotic relationship of humans and the ocean.
So I would say probably one of our most important aspects of the Shark Lab is our education outreach program.
We've done a tremendous amount of work in public education about sharks.
For us to get them interested and actively involved in what's going on in their own backyard is really important for them to want to care about the ocean and the research that we're doing to help protect it.
But if you come from Kansas or you come from Oklahoma and you rarely get to the ocean, it's this vast, scary place for a lot of people. So we have this range of perceptions. And then somewhere along the line, as people get to experience those things, they begin to see a lot of the fear disappear because their understanding and knowledge of that system has changed. So sharks are part of that.
We have something called Shark Shacks, where we go to any kind of a local event and we'll set up a tent and we'll bring all of our gadgets and we'll bring shark jaws and all kinds of stuff to engage with the public and tell them about what we do with the lab. You can tell as you're working these events how important it is to the public.
It's almost a ripple effect of this communication and education around these really important animals.
So it's our job as scientists to make it palatable to everybody, understandable.
One of the things that we did this year, one of our grad students published a paper where he collected data over about 2 years over beaches along the Southern California coast using drones. And the astonishing thing that he discovered is that they are not in the least bit interested in us. We aren't really shark food.
I think the more exposure people have to something, the more normalized it is, and I think that's been one of the better things that drones have been able to do, not just tell you stats. If I show you 8,000 videos of a shark swimming by surfers and nothing happening, you're going to say, oh, okay, they bite people, but no one at this beach, no one at that beach, no one at that beach. So they start to make that connection.
So I think that's one of the things the Shark Lab has to focus on. We can't tell people that you'll potentially never be hurt in the ocean, or a shark will never bite people. That's not true. We know that's not true. We do know that the probability is really low.
Especially in Southern California, where there is a lot of high density cities and a lot of pollution and garbage and things like that can end up in the ocean here. So the more people care about the ocean and understand what it provides us is really important for people to want to invest their time in it.
It's really important that the next generation of scientists take our ethics seriously. In other words, we have to be true to our process and we have to be honest. We're just trying to get at the truth. The thing that I've learned over time is that nature is incredibly resilient. We've seen it with shark populations after they're protected. What that means to me, though, is that really, in order to change the way things are going, it's going to come down to people. We've created a lot of these problems. We can fix them. And what I'm really excited about is this next generation of Shark Lab scientists who realize that. And they're the ones who give me hope for the future.